sure he plays a lot.
So what have you been working on the most going into this LAN?
We said that again?
What have you been working on the most going into this competition?
Definitely our end game and our chemistry.
And what was up with the end game?
Druids weren't staying together, but now we fixed it.
Okay, so there's not going to be any solo clutching. You're always going to be the 2 in the 2v1 situation, Cold.
Yes, sir.
And who is your biggest competition here on LAN before I let you go? Who have you got your eyes on?
Nobody.
Keep your eyes on these 2 desks.
I mean, Fortnite fam, how can you not be hyped seeing this? I mean, all these players come out. This is the upper bracket. This is so insane. I mean, you heard duos coming out, getting the reactions from the fans. It is electric here. I mean, man, I feel a vivid. As I kind of start to think back to the game, right? As I focus in on like having a good time, like, wait a minute, the game feels like there's one thing that's super important: having a game plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels like everybody up there on the stage has a game plan, because we kind of talked about the qualification process for this LAN. We talked about how everybody had to place well to get here, and I feel like it's kind of showing in all of those interviews. Like, it's just confidence after confidence after confidence. But speaking of game plans, man, yeah, it definitely does kind of change when you do change up the format, right? We have a 3-day format, but the lobby is never going to look the same in each and every single one of these days. So I feel like in terms of preparation, right, day 1 duos are going to be feeling so good, because they have to just straight up prepare for whatever lobby they have set forth in front of them, where we can't really see those, you know, day 2 duos kind of pop up, right? If we take a look at how Veno and Curve actually won their FNCS on the NAC region, they were 10th going into day number 2, and then they ended up winning, right? But that's on the back foot of Veno just doing all of that preparation in between. We don't have the opportunity to do something like that here.
It's interesting that you say that, though, because at the same time, you have duos already in the lower bracket just waiting to see who their 25 competitors are going to be. As a reminder, the top 25 do go to Sunday, but the bottom 25 play again tomorrow. There's already kind of drop maps getting formed, ideas of where duos might be dropping, but it all depends on how today plays out.
Absolutely, and of course, so many other duels as we're seeing. I mean, Janice is looking fantastic, and I mean, you guys heard him for a moment. Obviously, we're in Germany. Lev got to talk to him. Noah, Reason, you know, there is so much hype being in this environment. I can't wait.
It's definitely going to be cool, and you can take a quick little peek right there. The preparation definitely comes in. Saw all of the players kind of setting up their setups earlier on, making sure that they had their drop maps, you know, prepared for that. Obviously, it just kind of speaks to how important, how vital they feel like, you know, the all-spawn situation are, how they need to feel comfortable that they are going to land first and have a big advantage, because, you know, these players were kind of allotted one single piece of player each to kind of bring with them on stage, and almost every single one of them, it feels like they dedicated it to the other game.
Yeah, they have the drop map, they have it right in front of them. The thing I'm thinking is, you know, we had the practice matches, but you don't want to leak your strats in a practice match when the real deal is happening tomorrow. So now today, I'm curious to see how these kind of game plans unfold. Will we actually see Clix contest Peterbot? Will we see Sky and Scroll to the same strat? Only time will tell.
Well, time it is, because guess what, Fortnite fam? It is that time. Game number 1 is ready, so let's kick it on over to the casters. It's Jacob PR and the best taco.
We are here. This is the moment we've been waiting months for. The Major 1 Summit LAN from 75 teams from across the world are not only battling out for over $1 million in prize money, but the top 15 spots go to the Global Championship.
The way I see it, Jacob, today is basically bonus Fortnite Nation, and I am all for it, okay? Because we know we got game 1 ready to go. Just like that, Dusseldorf, our first opportunity to really gather what is actually going to pan out here across the minimap. Jacob, we've heard so many rumors, we've seen so many shakeups, and yet here today, it's time to figure it all out.
Yeah, for months you've heard Clix and Higgs, Peterbot, Poyo, the rivalry for so long. They said, no, we're going over towards Scribbly Shores. Clix is claiming, hey, we've had enough of going against Peterbot and Poyo on their terms. Now it is our terms. It's now going to be under their own conditions. but we've also seen, we heard our analysts talk about it as well, in some of those practice games, Clix and Higgs actually went back to Wonky Land, and we're seeing it again. Clix and Higgs are going back to the drop spot they know the best.
Clix and Higgs, they're not looking to try and drop it swiftly short, not here in game one, but they're still going to have to contend with some other opponents because now you're on home turf, but check it out, Sharktini more than expectant of this shakeup, and that is why they've already been sure to prepare for it. Darman Devish as well, just off in the distance over towards Toy Box Docks. It's going to get very rocky very soon for some of these teams, though.
Yeah, and you can already see Sharktini, Clix and Higgs. For the most part, it seems like they're going to split it. But Clix and Higgs, they're fast right out of the gates. They're pushing on over to the north side of Wonky, taking that loot, and eventually will fall back. But there's contested fights all over here in game one. Sandy Strip, another one in the feed. I did see Mini Prio go down. It wasn't Gino, wasn't Havoc here with Pablo Wingoose. You got to imagine, where else did they drop? Because they're not in the mini-map.
But Chino and Pablo, though, they don't seem to really be all that minding of it. They're more than content to just keep gathering whatever they can find here at Sandy Strip. They know that there's bound to be a bit of a clash eventually with Victor V and Kanata, but it's no real surprise to see that everywhere else, it's not so sweet. Chap trying to escape over by New Sanctuary. Things have gone awry because Flixie, he's already been knocked, so now Chap has to play for the recovery.
Yeah, they're already kind of searching where that actual elimination is. We want to know as well, it's actually going to be Flixie on top of the mountain. He did get it down onto Romero. You can see him battling in another 2v1 situation. He wins the fight. That wasn't just a knock, that was a full wipe.
Unfortunately, even if you win out with the first duo, there's always going to be some third-party action taking place if the time to elimination isn't fast enough. And even then, you never really know what to expect because so many teams are looking for that surprise factor. But Higgs, Clix, drawing things back over to Wonky Land. They're waiting, they're trying to make the approach. They've sniffed out this little bit of a lurk opportunity here. Shark gonna make sure to try and close the distance. Wants to ensure that he can back up Teeny if necessary. Overdrive grenade just to get a little bit of the movement effects here, but they've still yet to really tango. And Shark trying to push Higgs back. Clix a little bit separated, but he's still got the high ground leverage.
Yeah, Shark and Higgs trading shots very, very quickly. You can even see from underneath, Teeny trying to join the mix, but there's a little bit of a health advantage here for Clix and Higgs, and right now it looks like they are trying to be the aggressors in this fight. We've talked almost all morning long. Will they split it? Where will Clix and Higgs go? They're going back to Wonky Land, and they're hoping to wipe out Shark and Teeny. And right now, down below, Shark and Teeny, relatively healthy, but a couple of missing item slots and really, really low on materials.
And you just know that this is more than just a drop spot on the line here, Jacob. This is who's going to strike first and win with their pride. Clix, Higgs, they're not looking to fold under pressure. Shark, Teeny, they knew that this was going to likely be taking place here today, but both of these duos, all they realistically need, 1-2 solid lobbies out of our 6 games matchup.
Yeah, but the longer this one goes, right now they're lucky they're fighting inside of the house, but Acorn and Bolts towards the north, Darman Demas, that contested fight of Minute, Sauco, I Drop Marius, they can all eventually look on over to try the third party, but Taco, the EUFNCS champs, Sky and Scroll, you probably know them just a little bit more than I do, but I just remember a few years ago, these guys just kind of showing up on the map, the top of the leaderboard. People didn't believe in them, but man, has every tune changed this weekend.
We'll get a chance to check back in with them shortly, because right now it's all about what Cole's been cooking, and right now it's Minifio on the ropes. Cole's going to immediately take over, just fully boxes him up and finds that first elimination here, really trying to get some momentum building. And Cole, he said it himself in that pregame interview, Jacob. He's ready to show what he can do.
No fear at all, but wait a minute, we heard the talk. Are you gonna contest us? We figured out as the game's going on, no, but Peterbot and Pollo are slowly making their way up towards the north. We've seen this in divisional cups. They're looking for eliminations here, and they did get that mythic AR, so Peterbot is gonna be able to shred through these materials. They already got a knock and elimination onto Coyote as well, which is why you see Yuma by himself in this situation.
Yeah, and poor Yuma, he's just hoping that darkness by fingers, but Peterbot shut down. Peterbot is out of this conversation. Yuma just fully closing things out. He doesn't want to leave it up to Pollo. He's forcing Pollo to make a decision now. Bail out for the reboot. but he might be stuck in the middle because everybody in the vicinity saw that elimination light up in the feed, and now Yuma, he might have just bought himself so much more time because other parties, they're looking to intervene. Pollo with his back against the wall, trying to figure out where he can escape to.
Yeah, the only saving grace he has now is multiple teams look at third and fourth party in this situation. So the two solos, Yuma and Pollo, have a little bit of an opportunity to try to escape. But what they're waiting for here is for the two duos to actually start to fight it out. Until that happens, Taco, they really have little control over their game. Because if they try to move out too early, either one of those duos will spot them out as a solo and try to play aggressive.
All I can think about is what took place at Globals, Jacob. When we saw Peterbot in that game one, he made the aggressive effort against Victor V, got put down, and it definitely made a serious impact for the rest of those matches. Will that happen here today? Is he reliving the past moments? But only Pollo can really save him in this one.
Yeah, and you got a huge shout out to Asia Yuma. That is not an easy elimination there. That's not an easy player to take down, especially when you had already lost Coyota. You're by yourself, back up against the wall. If Yuma went down, he's spending 20 or so minutes watching his screen trying to figure out what happened. But big boys make big boy plays, and Yuma is looking to stay alive.
I like this, though. Definitely a bit of a 180 from some of the action taking place a little bit northwest of where Acorn and Bolts are at. But Acorn, always regarded as such a strong IGL, and I'm very excited to see what exactly has been stratting out, because every single one of these teams here today has just been anticipating some kind of bamboozlement. Nobody feels safe. Nobody feels secure in their original strategies. You've got the counter strat for the counter strat for the counter strat, and now we get to see it all come to fruition.
Yep. Now looking at Swizzy and Pixie. An interesting moment coming into this. Pixie, knowing he has a global champion by his side in Swizzy. When it comes to Dark Dominion, Taco, you don't see too many, when it's uncontested, players leave Dark Dominion early. They build this surge base here. Swizzy's going to be responsible for a lot of their early game damage. Meanwhile, Pixie, he's farming up extra materials, extra heals, so that way if they have to overstay their welcome in the zone, it's not a worry.
Pollo, though, definitely a little bit more concerned currently. Trying to see if he can make a play for the reboot. Is anybody close enough to try and gauge some warning shots towards Peterbot? The moment that he begins to glide down, but kind of reflecting back, I think that's where Pete is really going to have to reconsider when to hit the brakes. I understand you get that isolation, you put Yuma into a position where it should realistically just